Live from White House Field here in Harwich, Massachusetts. It's the 7th game of the 2022 season for the Harwich Mariners as they look to get off the schneid and snap this 2-game losing streak in a doubleheader here today against the Hyannis Harborhawks on Monday, June 20th. Good afternoon, folks, and welcome inside the broadcast booth. Tim Foley alongside Devin Dobick to bring you 2 games of Harwich Mariners baseball here today. First pitch for the first game slated right about now, 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with the second game slated for a 6:30 first pitch. Both games today set to be 7-inning games. Well, Devin, the Mariners, a 2-game losing streak, their longest such streak of the season, and it came in ugly fashion back on Saturday, an 11-0 loss to the YD Red Sox, where just about everything went wrong for Harwich.
Yeah, it was absolutely their worst game of the season. There's no other way around it. They hit the most batters in the point streak era. They hit 7 batters through just 7 innings. Well, we'll call it 6 because they didn't even go out for defense in the 7th. But yeah, very forgettable game. Their last 2 games, they've been held to single-digit hits combined. They've just really had their struggles offensively and on the mound, which is crazy because before those last 2 games, they were at the top of the CCBL in both categories. But nonetheless, Jonathan Santucci, one of your go-to guys, and he's going to bring it here today, hopefully get them back on track.
You talked about the struggles hitting, just 1 run combined between the 4-1 loss against Bourne and the 11-0 loss to the YD Red Sox. It is Jonathan Santucci who's getting the start here today on the mound. His last appearance for the Mariners actually came on opening day here in Harwich as center fielder for Santucci, but he's back towing the rubber, his first appearance since he came in 3 innings of relief in the season opener against Falmouth. That was back last Sunday on June 12th. The first batter in for Hyannis is going to be Tito Flores, the left fielder. He stands in now as Santucci stares down home, rocks, and delivers the first pitch of the game. That's going to be in the strike zone for a called strike. Let's take a moment and introduce you to this Hyannis Harborhawks starting lineup. Batting leadoff, the left fielder, Tito Flores. Batting second, the first baseman, Justin Hyannis. Batting third, the designated hitter, Jacob Campbell. Batting cleanup, the center fielder, Cole McConnell, as this ball's hit hard back out to left field. That's going back, and that is gone. Tito Flores, on an 0-1 count, hits a leadoff home run to give the Hyannis Harborhawks a 1-0 lead. That's the first home run that the Harwich Mariners have surrendered all season long. And for Hyannis, this is just how you want to start this doubleheader here today.
And yeah, that was just a ball that was absolutely crushed. What a beautiful swing we see from Tito Flores. Gets right under it, and this a no-doubter off the end of the bat. And the first home run that's been at White House Field also. This is now the 4th game here. The first home run we've seen leave the ballpark.
Mariners have struggled to hit the long ball here at home after hitting 3 across their first 2 games to open up the season. As we continue down the starting lineup, batting 5th, the catcher Pancho Ruiz. Batting 6th, the third baseman Mitchell Jebb. Batting 7th, the right fielder Philip Matulia. Batting 8th, the shortstop Dominic Pitelli. And batting 9th, the second baseman Riku Nishida. As it's a 1-2 count here to Justin Hyannis. Hyannis, the first baseman here today for the Harborhawks. As we take a look at his numbers so far to this point in the season, Hyannis batting .250, 5 of 20. He's come across the score twice, and he's also hit the only triple for the Harborhawks this season. And he goes down. It's strike 3, so Santucci's able to bounce back rather quickly and record the first out of the game.
Yeah, got him to go around on the check swing. Absolutely did. No debate there, but as far as Santucci now, in his first appearance, he did not allow a run. And now after 1 batter, it's 1-0. So glad to see him get that bounce back out. Baseball a mental game, Tim.
Certainly so. You cannot allow it to sort of disrupt your entire start after the first batter is able to get a hold of one pretty well. And it's tough coming in here today and pitching such as this because you remember, well, first off, Santucci was supposed to pitch yesterday in Game 1 of the doubleheader, and here we are. He was originally scheduled to pitch Game 2 of the doubleheader yesterday, as that one's going to be sliced off foul. But had it been played, he would have been the Game 1 pitcher. So he's sort of had his schedule mixed up a lot these past few days. It's tough to really get into the right mentality if you have a pre-day ritual Perhaps, as this one's going to be chopped up into center field. Charging at it is Harding, but that's going to get down. One hop into the glove of Harding, and it's a one-out single for Jacob Campbell, the designated hitter for the Harbor Hawks.
Great job by Campbell, the actually best defensive catcher on the team. Wouldn't be shocked if we see him throw on the pads in game 2, but doing designated hitting now, batting third, and he flips that one into center field, just muscles it. Strong piece of hitting and a one-out single.
So as Cole McConnell, the cleanup hitter here for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, steps in and takes a first pitch ball that misses outside. Let's introduce the starting defense for the Harwich Mariners. The outfield looks like this from left to right. Ryan McCarty's in left, Cole Harding's in center, Tommy Seidel is in right. The infield from left to right, you have Brock Wilkin at third, Danny Corona's at shortstop, and Nick Goodwin is over at second. Joe Vitrano's at first, and Kyle Teal is at home plate here today, catching for Santucci. The 79-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch is in for a called strike. It's a 1-1 count. As Santucci stares over toward first base, now delivers. A 1-1 is going to find a way in. That's good for a strike. Let's introduce today's umpires. Home plate umpire going to be Mike Hinojosa calling the balls and strikes. James Byrne is going to be the first base umpire for Game 1, and Mark Delaney the third base umpire for Game 1. It'll be the same umpiring crew, just rotated for Game 2. As the 1-2 comes in, that'll be sliced back foul, and we will remain at a 1-2 count. Harwich coming into today, coming into yesterday's action, was second in the East, but have since fallen in the standings as Orleans yesterday was able to sweep their doubleheader with the Falmouth Commodores. So Orleans has now leapfrogged the Mariners despite having more games played. The Mariners some time to make up some points as this one's popped up to the left side of the infield. Danny Corona's back to play it. He makes the catch, and there's now 2 away here in this top half of the first inning.
Santucci doing a great job to find that out. He's really having to dig deep here in the first inning. He was not tested nearly this much on opening day against Falmouth, a game in which he allowed just 1 hit and 1 walk. He's already allowed 2 here in the first inning, but nice to see him settle down. We've been seeing a lot of his two-seam fastballs up there in the mid-90s, 94, 95, but the movement on this thing is legit. You can absolutely see it tailing over to the right side, and look for him to use that pitch as a put-out pitch.
As the next man in is Pancho Ruiz. He will chop this one foul as it's 0-2. Continue taking a look at the standings here. So the Mariners in third right now in the East. They are just ahead of the YD Red Sox. Mariners at 6 points, YD at 5. Hyannis, on the other hand, they are fourth in the West right now. They managed to stay ahead of the Falmouth Commodores despite 2 fewer games played. As they're going to catch out Jacob Campbell on the base paths, but the throw down to second gets away from Danny Corona, and that's going to trickle into the outfield. A nice pickoff move by Santucci to get Campbell headed down to second base, but the throw down to second errant, and so safely on to second base is Campbell.
Hyannis will take it. Not how they drew it up, but Santucci definitely caught him. Campbell, a great jump. And right in the throwing lane for Vitrano, he had to move out of the way and then force it. I don't even know if it would have been in time if it was on target. Nonetheless, runner in scoring position with 2 down for Hyannis.
And that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on throughout the game. Danny Corona and Nick Goodwin have flipped sides of the infield as the count now is 1-1 at 83 miles an hour, misses high and outside. Corona, generally a second baseman over at Wake Forest, looking to perhaps make the switch over next season as the 1-1 is swung on and missed. It's a 1-2 count now. And Nick Goodwin, a guy who's played shortstop every game here for the Mariners, flipped over to second base. You got to keep his bat in the lineup, but he has made 3 errors at shortstop so far this season. That is tied for most in the Cape Cod Baseball League among shortstops. And so Coach Engler getting him a different look from the opposite side of the infield. The 1-2 is swung on and missed. Strike 3. Down goes Ruiz. But the Harbor Hawks strike first. A leadoff home run from Tito Flores. And the Hyannis Harbor Hawks lead it 1-0 here from White House Field. We'll have more Harwich Mariners baseball in just a minute. You're watching the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. back inside White House Field here in Harwich, Massachusetts. Let's take a moment and introduce the Harwich Mariners starting lineup. Batting leadoff, the second baseman, Nick Goodwin. Batting second, the catcher, Kyle Teal. Batting third, the third baseman, Brock Wilkin. Batting fourth, the first baseman, Joe Vitrano. Hitting fifth, the designated hitter, Jake Geloff. Batting sixth, the right fielder, Tommy Seidel. Batting seventh, the left fielder, Ryan McCarty. Batting eighth, the shortstop, Danny Corona. And batting ninth, the center fielder out of Cincinnati, Cole Harding. There's your starting lineup for the Mariners. The starting defense for the Hyannis Harborhawks looks like this. It'll be Tito Flores out in left field, Cole McConnell in center, Philip Matulia out in right, Mitchell Jebs at third base, Dominic Patelli, is over at shortstop, Riku Nishida is at second, Justin Hyannis is at first, and Pancho Ruiz is behind home plate. So in steps Nick Goodwin. Starting pitcher here today for the Hyannis Harborhawks, well, it's going to be Brody McCullough. McCullough out of Wingate. So far he's appeared in one game, pitched 5 innings, was not assigned a win or a loss, but had a pretty good outing. Did not allow a hit, nor an earned run, nor a walk, and he struck out 5. So Hyannis is going to look to him again to work some more magic here. 5 innings in a 7-inning game goes a long way, Devin. So if they can get that out of him, that would be huge here for this long day of baseball. As that one's fouled off, and the count moves to 0-2.
Definitely agree with you. A guy who can go deep into a shortened game is going to last you a long time, especially when you think about all the bullpen arms you're going to have to use today in 2 games. If you can get a guy to go deep into a game, you're going to have to avoid that fate.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Down goes Nick Goodwin. First batter of the game for the Mariners goes down swinging. And Nick Goodwin, a guy who's been good in this leadoff spot, goes down to open it up. Kyle Teal now steps in, someone who's looking to get it going for the Mariners. He has not had the greatest start to his season here on the Cape. Just 1 for 16. He's come across the score once. He's gotten on with a walk 3 times, but he's struck out 7 times. That leads all Harwich Mariners batters, and he has just struggled to make contact and get on base, Devin.
Yeah, Kyle Teal, definitely a slow start, but a guy that Coach Englert's got a lot of trust in. He's had high expectations. A very good season at Virginia. There's nothing that can be said there. Another guy, just like Gino Groover III, that's just got to get going.
That's going to be fouled back off the helmet of Pancho Ruiz, and everyone's going to take a moment to make sure Ruiz has a moment to make sure that he's all right. A foul tip off the bat of Kyle Teal is never going to feel good. As staring in still here, McCullough. He'll look toward home plate, rocks and delivers. The 1-1. Swing and a miss, and the count moves to 1-2. Hyannis wearing their road blues that say Hyannis in orange across the front. They have the white pants with the pinstripes, the orange caps. Harwich Mariners in their cream tops, cream bottoms, the navy socks. As it's going to be foul tipped back into the mitt of Ruiz, and that's the second strikeout in as many batters to open up this game for Brody McCullough. And Devin, he is picking up right where he left off in his last appearance.
Yeah, he's fantastic, just down the book, 6'4", 205 pounds, and no stranger striking people out. Struck out 17 batters back on April 1st. He was the Southeast Region Pitcher of the Year. So a guy that is definitely coming in here looking to get a win for his team. And they're going to ride him. That offensive support in the first inning is absolutely a plus for his confidence.
As Brock Wilkins stands in now, takes a first pitch ball. Wilkin, one of the few bright spots in that 11-0 loss to YD, recorded his first hits of the season, had a single and a double. As the 1-0 comes in, that's in for a called strike, and the count moves to 1-1. Wilkin, a guy who was very familiar with the double last season, so good to see him getting some extra base hits. That's something that the Mariners have done all right with. They had a good start to their season hitting for power, but things have really fallen off across all categories, as this one's going to be lined out to left field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Tito Flores is on the receiving end of it, but Brock Wilkin is on first with a 2-out single. This will bring up the cleanup hitter, Joe Vitrano.
He's really started to get something going. Had 2 hits last game, 2 of the 4. Now he's got one here, the first of the game for the Mariners. And the game before, he got on base 3 times. He was hit twice and also drew a walk. So a lot of positives if you're Brock Wilkin. Definitely starting to fit in nicely after a bit of a late arrival.
And so it's Joe Vitrano now who stands in. Vetrano on the season for the Mariners, 4 for 18, batting .222. He's driven in 3 runs. He's walked twice, and he's struck out 3 times. He's been a nice presence at the plate so far, all things considered. You know, how the Mariners, by and large, have been struggling. But Vetrano, you feel he's good for contact every now and again. As it's a 1-0 count here, McCullough stares in and delivers. That'll miss outside. It's 2-0.
Yeah, Joe has definitely been in and out of the lineup more lately as more big names have arrived, especially Jake Geloff, who now stands in the on-deck circle. But a guy who's going to be a patient hitter and still bring that power. Definitely hasn't had as great a game as he wants since the beginning of the season.
He'll push this one the other way. Is that going to stay fair? No, it's going to drop just foul. Could have meant extra bases for Vetrano. And Wilkins certainly could have gotten as far as at least third base. Would have set up the Mariners nicely with 2 outs to try to do some damage. But Vetrano will have to step back in. And you talk about it. A lot of names keep coming into town. Matt Cassetti, another name who just got into town. Catcher out of Florida. So there are guys who keep on coming in who you could potentially see slot in a DH role. And it's so tough as a hitter to try and find time in the lineup if you aren't having immediate success, because there are so many guys that a coaching staff is going to try to cycle through to see if somebody's going to stick. And so your number eventually may be called again, which is why you want to try to make the most of the time that you're allotted. And so Vetrano back in the lineup. It's a 2-1 count to him with 2 away. Off-speed pitch, able to find the outside part of the strike zone at 75 miles an hour. And the count evens out at 2-2.
Joe got to be very careful here and protect. He has punched out only 3 times, so he's done a pretty good job of that.
Time's going to be called here by Vetrano. He'll take a moment to himself. But that's one of the hallmarks of a great hitter, is not only can you hit the ball, can you be defensive when you have to be. So Vetrano in a big spot here, as you put it. 2-2 pitch. He'll send this one out into center field. Going back is McConnell on the run. Backpedaling, he'll make the catch. There's 3 down now in the bottom of the first inning. Goodwin and Teal each go down swinging. Brock Wilkins singles, but Joe Vetrano lines out to center field. And that's how the first concludes. We'll be back with the top of the second inning in just a moment. You're watching Harwich Mariners baseball here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. We bring you back into White House Field, where Mitchell Jebb will lead us off, the third baseman here for the Harbor Hawks. Hyannis up 1-0 after a solo shot to lead it off from Tito Flores. Santucci was then able to retire 3 out of the next 4 batters, as leadoff man here is going to hit a dribbler over to third. Wilkin fires onto first, and it's in time for the first out of the inning. A very quick first out on 1 pitch. Down goes Mitchell Jebb.
Yeah, and for Mitch Jebb, just to touch on him for a bit, actually played with Katuit, who has just been a powerhouse to start here, but realized he wasn't going to get to start at short every game, so he got cut. Hyannis picks him up, and now he's found another home starting at third base here tonight.
And it's so tough. Sometimes you'll see that, where guys will move around teams across the league. You'll see some familiar faces perhaps, after you cut a guy, as the first pitch to the next batter in Philip Matulia. It misses outside. It's a 1-0 count here. And sometimes it works out heavily in favor of the team that picks the guy up. So we'll see just how favorable Mitchell Jebb is for these Hyannis Harbor Hawks with regular playing time, as it's a 1-1 count now. Big swing and a miss from Matulia as he chased outside. Santucci looking to retire, the second batter of the inning, as he'll rock and deliver. Fouls this one straight back, and the count now moves to 1-2.
Yeah, and Philip Matulia actually has an NIL deal with Barstool if you go and look him up. He's got like kind of a silhouette of his face, a beard as well. So pretty cool there. Louisiana Tech.
As the 1-2 pitch misses outside, it's 2-2. I mean, that's all the rage these days. I remember there was a Mariner who had acquired a deal just as that went live, I want to say, for a barbecue rub. As the 2-2 is going to be skied up, playable. Back goes Wilkin Corona, but it's going to be the left fielder McCarty who comes down with it. A softly hit fly ball out towards shallow left, and there's now 2 away.
Just got under that one, and despite the NIL deal, he has had a slow start to the season here. A guy who would really like to get going, but nonetheless, yeah, taking a look at his numbers, just hitting .077 to start. Pretty good defensively, that's why he's getting the start out there. But
as the first pitch into Dominic Batilla is going to miss inside, and it's a 1-0 count. And defense really can just be as important. That's why sometimes you'll see guys struggling, as that one's going to get pushed the other way by Patella with 2 outs. There is a man on first now for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks.
Yeah, they've been going opposite field a few times on Jonathan Santucci. That one might have even broke the bat a little bit, but they dump it in the left field, and now they got a little 2-out rally going. A hit in both innings now so far.
Riku Nishida comes up to bat. Nishida, the second baseman here today for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, as he checked back to first base. It's a 1-0 count here to Nishida. Now Nishida out of Mount Hood Community College. That's over in Oregon. As the 1-0 pitch comes in, runner goes down. Teal throws it down to second, and it looks like they got him. They did. Down goes the base runner, Batelli. Nishida will lead off the top of the 3rd inning for the Harbor Hawks, but very quick defensive work for the Harwich Mariners in the top of the 2nd inning. We'll be back with the bottom of the 2nd inning in just a moment. Still 1-0 Hyannis. You're watching the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back inside White House Field. Tim Foley, Devin Dobick along with you. Now for the bottom of the 2nd inning, Jake Geloff is set to lead us off here, the designated hitter. Geloff, so far on the season for the Mariners, 1 for 7, batting .143. He's struck out twice so far, trying to establish a bit of a rhythm here. Somebody who had a spectacular college season this past year, as the first pitch to him is able to catch the outside part of the plate from Brody McCullough. Back out for his second inning of work. 2 strikeouts and a line out across his first set of batters. It's a 1-1 count now here. Did allow a hit to Brock Wilkin, but ended up coming to nothing as it's a 1-1 count. That'll be swung on. He did go around, so says the home plate umpire here today for Game 1, Mike Hinojosa.
And yeah, Geloff, like you mentioned, Tim, just a guy that's got to get going. 377 last season at Virginia, and now just 143 early on here in Harwich. This is third game played, but, you know, staying in the middle of the lineup, they're relying on guys like Gino, Groover, Geloff, Vetrano to get back going after consistent seasons in college.
The 2-2's going to catch the inside part of the plate, and that's going to ring him up. Down goes Geloff's looking. And so, that is the third strikeout of the game for Brody McCullough, who continues to deal. This brings up the right fielder, Tommy Seidel.
And Seidel, just another guy with power. We've seen him hit home runs before, but as of late, he's really struggled. Someone who would also really like to get going, but you got to think, Tim, another thing that has to be taken into consideration is metal versus wood bats. I mean, all these guys so good in college swinging the metal, and now they come here with the wood. How much of that has an impact, the smaller sweet spot as we've touched on before?
It takes time. It comes along, and you see it as the season goes. It's a day-to-day process. Now, of course, while winning is nice and while you come here to try to win as many games as you possibly can, it really is just a training ground to be able to develop your skills as a hitter with the wood bat, as the 1-1 pitch is going to be chopped off foul. And for what it's worth, well, Seidel, he has been struggling a bit. 167, that's just 3 for 18 hitting. He does have a 5-game on-base streak, so he's found ways to get on, which the Mariners are in need of here. He was not in the lineup the other day against YD as the 1-2 to him comes in. That'll be chopped off foul. It's 1-2 still. The outfield consisted of Groover, Geloff, and Teal. So Seidel back in here today, and he's trying to make a difference. That was the first game in which he was not in the starting lineup. Seidel.
Still without a hit since June 13th, so he'd really like to get going. That home run game was the last bit of offense we saw with the bat from him, but as you said, finding ways to get on other than the bat, so still pulling his weight.
It's a 2-2 count. The pitch. That's going to miss up high, and the count's going to run full here. McCullough has not walked a batter yet today. He's only faced 5, and he's struck out 3 of them. There's 1 away. Here's the pitch. That will miss high. That is ball 4, and that is now 6 straight games for Tommy Seidel in which he's been able to get on base.
Yeah, and Harwich will take it. Also, your stolen base leader with 2, so you got speed on the bases and a team that's really struggled offensively. You got to think that Coach Engler might want to be aggressive here.
And this is a Hyannis team that was getting run on the other day in their game against the Cotuit Kettleers, as the first pitch to Ryan McCarty is swung on and missed. McCarty falls behind 0-1. I mean, Cotuit, they've been running on everybody, to be fair. It's an unbelievable total so far in stolen bases, but had a stolen base against the Harbor Hawks. If you look at the entire league, just to get an idea for what Cotuit's been able to do as a team, really just been unbelievable. To this point in the year, they have a total of 22 stolen bases, Cotuit does. As the 0-1 comes in, that's going to miss. Throw back down to first, and on his way now down to second is Seidel, but the throw down to the bag is in time. He initially fooled Justin Hyannis, as Hyannis, receiving the throw down from Ruiz, tried to tag back to first to see if you could get Seidel. Seidel was already halfway down to the bag, but even still a nice throw from Hyannis, able to gun him down at second, and so there's now 2 gone here in the bottom of the second inning.
Sloppy base running on both sides. We've now seen 2 people picked off the base paths, 1 apiece.
Ball's going to be popped up into foul territory. That's going to head out of play. And the count here to McCarty as we look to get it straightened out for you in just a moment here. Believe it to be 1-2.
Yeah, Seidel just hung out to dry there. I mean, deer in the headlights. He kind of froze when he saw the catcher and Ruiz snap him off, but got to commit.
And Brody McCullough thought he had strike 3, started to trot back toward the dugout on that 1-2 pitch, ended up missing, and the count here is 2-2 now. McCullough quickly back into his motion. This ball's going to be pulled out to left field. Settling underneath it, Tito Flores makes the catch and ends the inning. We are through 2 here in Game 1 of a doubleheader between the Hyannis Harbor Hawks and Harwich Mariners. We'll be back with more on the other side of the break. You're watching the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back inside White House Field. A 1-0 lead for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, thanks to a leadoff home run at the top of the first inning from Tito Flores. For play-by-play duties for the next 3 innings, my broadcast partner, Devin Dobik. Devin.
Thank you, Tim. Riku Nishida, as you mentioned, set to lead things off. And he drops down a bunt. Kyle Teal converges and can't make the play. It'll be an infield single for Nishida, a guy with a lot of speed. Last summer stole 28 bases and 33 of 35 this past season, so not surprised there. 5'6", just 145 pounds is Nishida, but man, he can fly.
Yeah, very technical right off the bat with that bunt. The way he was able to lay that down perfectly down the first base line. It's impressive. If you can lay down an excellent bunt to open up an inning, your odds of making it down to first are higher than you might think. And so with Nishida, with his speed, no surprise really, he was able to make it down to the bag. Tough play for Teal to try to make.
Tito Flores, the guy who is the difference maker thus far, climbs in for his second at-bat, grounds it over to Wilkin. Wilkin on to second for 1. Goodwin the turn. 5, 4, 3, and just like that, there's 2 outs. They pick up Kyle Teal.
Yeah, easy enough if you're Brock Wilkin. That one's hit right along the ground. Easy for him to field. Got to him quickly enough where he was able to make the throw down to second, and then thereafter the throw to first quickly enough. So, fortunate break for the Mariners, whereas you had a man on with nobody out. Now you're 2 outs already into the inning.
Yeah, and a beautiful turn around the horn there. I mean, no time spared. Tito Flores was out by 3 or 4 steps. Harwich doing a great job of snapping that ball around quickly, as this one is lined foul to make it 0-2. Justin Janis struck out, one of Santucci's 2 victims thus far in the ball game. Santucci looking for a season-high 3rd strikeout, as that one just misses, according to Mike Hinojosa. Santucci has gone 3 innings in the win at Falmouth. 1 more out, and he would have done the same here. We'll see how Coach Engler decides to use him today. Kyle Teal thought that ball was fair. Mike Hinojosa says that it bounced foul. Tough break for Harwich, but nonetheless, they'll have to go back and do the 1-2.
Yeah, Santucci's still ahead in the count here, still in the driver's seat, so he's looking to put him away on this next pitch.
And the 1-2 is in there on the inside corner. Hinojosa rings him up. We head to the home half of the third. Harwich trying to get something going here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. And we're back. It'll be 8-9-1 due up for the Mariners. Danny Corona will climb in after going hitless against YD. Does have 3 hits on the season, including a multi-hit game and a double. No Mariner has more than 1 double. Corona would like to get his offense going here. Lefty on righty matchup, and he watches the first pitch above the letters for ball 1.
We had a chance to talk to Corona pregame, and Devin, you were asking earlier about that difference, metal to wood bat, as the 1-0 misses high, 2-0. Corona said he really likes actually being able to use the wood bat now. The feedback it offers when you don't hit it right on the sweet spot helps to make you a bit more of a better hitter as opposed to a metal bat. It's not as responsive with, how good of contact it was, and so using a wood bat in that sense helps him to learn better as a hitter what exactly it is he should be doing. It's a 3-0 count now.
And the pitch. That one is going to catch the inside corner for a strike, a close one there. We've seen Danny Corona not like a lot of pitches and start towards first base when he's called back. 3-1 is right down Broadway, and the count is loaded up.
Yeah, he knew that one. Didn't like it, though, but now here he is, full count. And he's going to have to change his approach here.
Payoff pitch. And he flips it foul. McCullough, a guy who's not going to walk a lot of people. His strikeout to walk ratio is a little over 4. 110 punch-outs this year at the Division II school, Wingate, with just 24 walks. Not a lot of bad things to be said about him. A 2.40 ERA. And Corona foul tips this one off the catcher Ruiz's mask. And we'll have to do it again.
Yeah, and you say D2, but so far he's really proven his mettle here on the Cape. Had a strong last outing, last time out, and now here he is already off to a great start against the Mariners here through 2 innings so far.
Another 3-2. Fouled off. Corona stringing together a good at-bat. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up.
Yeah, McCullough, good on him as well. Fell behind initially 3-0, but he's worked it back full, and now Corona, it's up to him to be defensive, and that's just what he's doing.
And another 3-2. He walked him. Danny Corona doing a great job to give McCullough some problems, and he earns a free trip to first base. The first time that Harwich has had the leadoff man on tonight for Cole Harding.
And Corona, good for him to get back on base after only having 2 at-bats back on the game against YD on Saturday. Did not even get his 3rd licks in.
Corona with a leadoff first. Double play depth for the Harbor Hawks, and Harding a big swing through that one for strike 1.
And it was that game where Harwich, of course, down 11-0. It's tough to come back from. And then one of the things the umpires do factor in when determining whether or not to call a game due to darkness is the likelihood of a team coming back and in the amount of time that they think they can do it in.
As the 0-1 is cut on and missed. 93 on that pitch from McCullough. Harding, a guy who's been in the lineup almost every game. This is his 5th appearance. Batting just .154, but so reliable offensively. He stays in Coach Englert's lineup. 0-2. Fouled off. And we'll do it again. He hit .313 for the Bearcats at Cincinnati this season and .289 in his freshman year. So no stranger to a lot of offensive production, especially with his speed, as the pickoff of Corona is a lot closer than he probably anticipated. But he did get in there. Harwich with just 1 hit through 2 complete innings. McCullough has been solid. Another 0-2. And Harding might have broke his bat. He lifts it into center field for a base hit. And just like that, Harwich doubles their hit total with a no-out single from Cole Harding.
Well, this is what you need after the struggles you were having these past 2 days at the plate, or these past 2 games, I should say, where you have just the 7 combined hits across 2 games. And yes, it's only 2 here, but you're actually starting to string something together here in a timely manner. And now you set up your top of the order very nicely here for Goodwin, Teal, and Wilkin all coming up with nobody away in this inning. So Harwich, you have to be hoping that you're going to be at the very least able to tie this game up in this inning. You have to have expectations for more, though, if you're Steve Englert.
Goodwin with a 6-game on-base streak, Trying to extend that here tonight. Leads the team in at-bats with 21. And he watches strike 1 down and away. It's 0-1.
Yeah, I mean, that'll happen when your coaching staff trusts you enough to be the leadoff guy each and every game, and that's just what Nick Goodwin's been, and he's been fantastic in that role for Harwich.
The pitch. Goodwin chops this one foul over to third base, and it's 0-2. Goodwin, the hottest hitter on the team, as he breaks his bat there. And he'd love to keep that going here. At the top of the order with no outs, 2 runners on in a game where Harwich has not had much offense. They've only scored 1 run in the last 2 contests. So with no outs and 2 on, you'd love to get something going here. Yeah,
and we talked about how ideal it is to have a guy in Nick Goodwin coming up to bat. Just to give you some numbers as to what exactly he's been doing in spots like this. Whenever he's had runners on base, he's batting .571. He has 5 RBI in these spots, including a home run. And then whenever he's got runners in scoring position, he's batting .500 with 3 RBI. So this is exactly who you want up if you're Harwich.
0-2. That one gets by the catcher. The runner's bad read by Corona. He would have easily been into third base. We saw Harding start to run towards second and then have to retreat, or else they would have really been in a bad spot. Corona definitely regretting that one. Didn't get a read on it. But nonetheless, Mariners will have to roll with it. Goodwin now, a little more pressure. Double play still in effect. 1-2. Swung on and missed. Down goes Goodwin. That'll be the 4th strikeout for McCullough.
Harwich Mariners, the catcher
and there's
from
one
Virginia,
away.
Yeah, and we'll see just what McCullough's able to do to buckle down here. Good start to the rest of his inning after walking Corona and allowing a single to Harding. Able to get a guy in Goodwin down who's been seeing the ball well from the plate, and now you have Kyle Teal up to bat, who's due, to say the very least here.
And he fouls this one off to the left by the batting cage for strike one. Yeah, Teal, a guy who's really struggled. His 8th strikeout back in the first inning. Leads the team, as you mentioned, Tim, and still in the heart of the lineup for Harwich. So a guy who's being relied on heavily but hasn't been able to produce. He's got an opportunity here as Corona. He's really had an interesting time out there on the bases. Had there been cover, he might have just gotten picked off there. 0-1 to Teal. The pitch. And Teal fouls that one off, and he's quickly in the hole, 0-2.
Just to give you an idea for some of Teal's struggles, his average right now, 0.63. That is 3rd worst in the league among qualified hitters. Minimum plate appearances per game played by the team, 2.7. So Teal 3rd lowest average. And then 7 strikeouts. Again, that leads the Mariners.
Here's another 0-2 to Teal. Bounced in the dirt, gets away from the catcher, but not far enough for the runners to advance, and it's 1-2. Brock Wilken on deck, should he get the opportunity, has one of the 2 hits here for the Mariners. And a guy who's starting to get hot in the heart of your order. Teal still alive, though. 1-2. 1 out, and the pitch. Rounds this one over towards the Hyannis dugout. And we'll do it again. Still stringing together a nice at-bat, making the pitcher and McCullough work. But this guy is a guy who needs a hit. He's not going to take anything less. A ball and 2 strikes. 1 out. Harding at first, Corona at second. The batter in Teal. And here comes the delivery. That one just, and I mean just, misses the outside corner. Himahos almost regretted calling it a ball. Very close, and some of the Harbor Hawk faithful are a little displeased with that. Teal stays alive, 2-2. And talk about a guy who needed a call. Another 2-2 delivery, and Teal lifts this one out to deep left center field, ranging over to McConnell. Flores is under it, and he makes an over-the-shoulder grab. Tagging and heading into third is Corona. Harding staying at first. So Teal will get credit for a sac fly, and there's runners at the corners now.
Batting for your Harwich Mariners.
Good speed from Corona, good awareness to keep his foot on the bag and tag up despite the ball landing down in left. Had faith in his ability to be able to beat out any throw down to the bag, so he's able to slide in and set up Brock Wilken rather nicely. And this will force a conversation on the mound here between the pitching coach as well as Pancho Ruiz with Brody McCullough. We've not seen, Devin, it feels, a lot of at-bats in this game that have not found themselves with 2 strikes. So yes, Harwich is starting to get on top of McCullough here this inning, but every single at-bat, Harwich has had to be defensive at the plate because McCullough, whether he goes ahead in the count early 0-2 or he finds himself behind 3-0 and then battles back to a full count, he's finding ways to put it on the batters to really work for everything that they're getting.
Completely agree with you. I mean, he's just a guy who's going to battle. He does not like to give out free tickets to first base, and he's going to throw strikes even if it means the Mariners have to put it in play. But now a definitely not easy out, and Brock Wilken will climb in, and Brock in a spot that Harwich has really had trouble with. Whenever there's been runners in scoring position, they have not been able to drive them in the past couple games. So this is the first opportunity to do it here tonight. We'll see if they can make anything of it.
Yeah, Harwich as a team with runners in scoring position batting 188, and with 2 outs, that number drops even more to 136.
1-0 to Wilken. That one misses at 89 miles an hour. Harding, the runner at first. Corona at third. And the pitch to the Wake Forest product is fouled off to the right and out of play. A ball and a strike with 2 outs.
I mean, regardless of what happens here, again, obviously you had runners on first and second with nobody out. You want to run here if you're Harwich, but even still, it's good to see them grinding at bats and doing a lot of things right, forcing McCullough to really work. The game had been flying by to this point otherwise, defensively for Hyannis.
1-1. In there at the knees for a strike. And yet, Tim, to your point, they have been making pitchers work, but I think at this point they're sick and tired of it. I mean, this would be the 3rd straight game that they really had nothing going other than quality at bats, but their offense just hasn't been there, and they're trying to cash in now on a 2-game losing streak. They got a doubleheader at home as Harding back in safely there. They're just trying to get some runs on the board. I mean, a team that didn't have much trouble early on with the exception of Chatham, and now they've just been held quiet. 1-2 pitch. That one just up, and the count is even at 2. 94 on that pitch from McCullough.
And Hyannis, they're going to be exceptionally grateful if they can get out of this spot. Normally, opposing batters are hitting 300 against them when they have runners in scoring position, and that's been just about this entire inning as Corona found himself on second quickly.
As Wilkin grounds us over to the shortstop, Patelli gathers and fires on to first. The side is retired. The Mariners threaten with 2, but they leave them stranded. Now they'll have to go back out to defense. It'll be Santucci coming back out for his 4th inning of work when we return on the other side of the break on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
Illinois, number 25, Jacob Campbell.
Welcome back. Devin Dobek, Tim Foley bringing you the action. Right now, game 1 of the doubleheader here at White House Field, and a beautiful day at that. It's tough to have a Monday game at 4 o'clock, but most schools just emptying out, so fans starting to trickle in a little late. It's a ball and no strikes. Santucci back out there, as we mentioned. Finished the inning in the 3rd with a strikeout looking at the hands of Justin Hyannis. 1-0 is foul tipped into the glove of Teal, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, Santucci working well so far. Obviously, the leadoff home run not ideal, but other than that, total of just 35 pitches through his first 3 innings of work.
1-1. Fouled again. Might have got a piece of meat off Teal. He's a little ginger, but it's 1-2. Santucci going to get a new ball. Hinojosa giving Teal some time. Seems to be all right. Santucci, as we mentioned, his season high was 2 strikeouts through 3 innings pitched. He's now into the third, so 3+ his new high, and he's got 3 strikeouts, so not a bad day considering he did give up the run. 1-2. This one on one hop over to short. Corona gathers and fires the throw just in time. A close play there. Bang, bang. But a huge first out. That ball got to Corona quick, so good speed from Jacob Campbell. He's able to fly down the line and make it close at least.
And what I'm impressed by there is the arm strength of Corona, as he took some time in his windup, but once he actually let it fly out of his hand, that thing just rocketed over to first.
Cole McConnell will climb in. He popped out to shortstop in his first at-bat, as this one is fouled off to the left and out of play. McCarty gave it a chase, but definitely a far run for him. 0-1. Santucci from Leominster, Massachusetts, went to Duke University along with Billy Seidel. As this one is hit high and out to the gap in left center field, run down by Harding. A nice job to track that one, and it's out number 2.
Yeah, Harding really solid defensively. Nice read off of that ball out off the jump. Was still running as he was able to get there. And so, close play as it was, hit pretty well out toward the gap, but a nice read by Harding, as mentioned, and there's 2 away now.
Pancho Ruiz will step into the right-hand side. He's punched out already here tonight, one of Santucci's 3 victims. San Diego State Aztec, and he watches ball 1 way outside. 91 on that pitch from Santucci. 4 hits through 3 2/3 for the Harbor Hawks, and Ruiz did, says Hinojosa, and count is evened up at 1 on the off-speed pitch. One pitch. That one just misses below the knees. A close one. Mariners don't get the break, and it's 2-1. And the 2-1 misses away. 3-1. Santucci has faced just 8 batters through his last 2 2/3, so the minimum. He's helped out by a double play and a runner that was caught stealing in Dom Patelli. But he has absolutely found a rhythm since that first inning. This one chopped over to shortstop. Corona gathers and fires over to first in time. And the side is retired. 1, 2, 3, go the Harbor Hawks. They are held quiet for the first time of the ball game. We head to the home half of the 4th. Harwich trying to get something going with the heart of the order coming up. We'll be right back on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. And we're back. David Dobek, Tim Foley. Call to the bullpen. McCullough's night is over. And it'll be the lefty Cotto coming in from Kentucky. 6'3", 225 pounds. Number 41 in MLB Draft's 2023 prospect rankings, according to D1 Baseball. And the first pitch, a diving stab by the third baseman in Jebb. Mitch Jebb robs a base hit from Joe Vitrano. A sinking liner that he somehow got his glove on. That is a Webb gem nonetheless. And there's one away.
Harwich just can't really seem to buy much action here. I mean, you left 2 on last inning on the corners. After getting them both on with nobody away, you then went down 1, 2, 3, and now here a very hard hit ball, which looked like almost a guaranteed base hit from Vitrano. Robbed, as you put it, by Jebb, and things just continue to be a struggle at the plate for the Mariners.
A Jebb gem or a Webb Jebb, whatever you want to call it. What a play by the new Harbor Hawk, as now way up on the count is Cotto, 0-2. Geloff still searching for his first base hit of the ball game. He has struck out looking here tonight. That pitch 98. Some absolute gas we're seeing here from Cotto. 1-2. Fouled off, a little off speed there. Cotto wanted it, as lets out a little frustration there. And it's 1-2.
Yeah, we'll see just how this changes Harwich's approach at the plate. I'm still expecting them to grind out these at-bats and try to take advantage of the new pitcher with McCullough gone.
Another 1-2 misses way above the eyes, and it's evened up. 98 once again. This guy, a flamethrower. He struck out 36 through 32 2/3 for Kentucky this past season. As you can see, Geloff way late on these swings. He's fouled everything he's fouled off to the right, indicating he is late. He was a former Gamecock his freshman year. Pitched 10 innings. Trying to improve his draft stock. Very reliable out of the bullpen. As that one catches the outside corner for out number 1. Geloff goes down looking for the second time here today. A slow start for him this season, and his struggles continue.
From Alabama, number 34,
yeah, I mean, you liked what you saw initially. A nice defensive at-bat. He was unleashing an assault on the people who are on the berm on that third base side. A lot of foul balls hit right off into the crowd, but ultimately rang up on a pitch that he thought was just outside, and things continue to be a struggle here for Harwich. That's now the last 5 who have been retired.
Seidel the hitter now. Tommy walked and was picked off by McCullough back in inning number 2. Yeah, this guy seriously bringing it. I mean, definitely the most velocity we've seen thus far against the Harwich Mariners. It's 1-0 the count. As check swing, might have got a piece of it, but nonetheless it's in there for a strike.
And one of the things you need to remember too here if you're Harwich, not to put even more pressure on these bats to get going after what's been such a struggle these past few games. It's a 7-inning game here today. We're effectively already midway through it, even more so with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th.
As Seidel watches strike 2 go by, and he's now down in the count.
And so just that 1 run, not a lot to make up, but it's a lot more impactful at this point.
Seidel grounds this one over to the first. That's going to be an easy put out for Hyannis by himself. Scored that one 3-U. And we head to the 5th inning. Harwich goes down 1-2-3 on the other side of the break. Santucci will be back out there for inning number 5. We'll be right back on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. And we're back here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Leading off will be Mitch Jebb, who made a fantastic play at third base in the last inning that helped out a 1-2-3 fourth for Kodo. And Jebb, a Michigan State Spartan from Saginaw, Michigan. He went to Swan Valley High School. Down in the count 0-1. Checked his swing there, but he absolutely went around. And it's 0-2. This season for the Spartans, he hit .356. And his freshman year hit .276. So a guy who has vastly improved over the last year. As that one bounced way in front of the plate, caught a piece of Teal's mask. And it's 1-2. 6 home runs. A career high for him this past season. Also had 10 doubles and 3 triples, showing off that speed. As the 1-2 catches the outside corner for strike 3. A beautiful breaking ball at 81 miles an hour from Santucci. And he gets the leadoff hitter once again.
Yes, Santucci settles right back in, just like he has been across these past few innings. He's faced a minimum, effectively, of 12 batters over his last 4 innings pitched. Again, you mentioned it last inning, helped by a runner caught stealing and then a 5-4-3 double play, but even still, he's been cruising through these Harbor Hawks.
The right fielder, Matulia, is set to climb in. He pops this one way up, giving chase is Teal. With the mask still in his hand, he makes the play. Great defense by Teal. I can't believe he didn't drop the helmet, but maybe just a little flash there as he puts that one away. Plenty of room behind the plate here. 2 outs.
Interesting, too. He went with that underhanded catch. I mean, a lot of times you'll see a guy settle underneath it, glove above them, so they have everything within their line of sight. But he had the glove down low, right about his chest height, and he was able to come down with it. Made the catch impressively enough.
Dominic Patelli comes in with 2 outs here in the 5th. 5'11", 175 pounds, goes to the University of Miami, and also a Miami, Florida native. The 0-1 is bounced in the dirt, and Teal with the stop. It's 1-1. Batting just 100 coming into today, but he does have a home run. That was at the hands of the Katuitt Kettleers. And the 1-1. Pulls the string on that, and it's 1-2. He started every game at shortstop for the Hurricanes. Had 55 hits in that season with 45 runs batted in and a .249 batting average. 1-2. Grounds this one over to Vetrano. He'll take it himself. And a very quick top of the 5th for the Harbor Hawks. They go down 1-2-3 for the 2nd consecutive inning. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, Mariners looking for some offense on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
bottom of the fifth for your Harwich Mariners, the left fielder from Penn State.
Welcome back.
Number 11,
Mariners
Ryan
with just 2 hits
McCarty.
through 4 complete innings here, and they're facing a very talented pitcher in Kodo. Ryan McCarty, the D3 phenom, will climb in for his second at-bat, followed by Corona and Harding. Corona and Harding did have something going in the third. First and second, nobody outs, and then they were not helped out by the top of their order. Kodo's 1-0 delivery. McCarty fouls it off, and it's 1-1. And a thing that you got to love about the Cape League is we got a guy like McCarty coming in, D3 Player of the Year, and now he's facing off against a top 50 MLB draft prospect in Kodo. So a lot of experience gained here. And it's 2-1, 96 on that pitch.
And McCarty's still looking to utilize that experience somewhere else. He is transferring out of Penn State Abington, looking for a new home.
And upset with himself after fouling that one off. It's 2-2.
Yeah, he liked that one. 94 miles an hour, thought he had a good read on it. Ultimately, able to stay defensive, foul it off, but even still, he wanted more.
He'll be a grad transfer when that does happen, as you mentioned, Tim. Spent all 4 years at Penn State Abington. And yeah, just dominating the league from start to finish. Hit .433 his freshman year, .351 his sophomore, .393 junior, and then .529 this senior year. As he checked his swing there, did he go? No, says the first base umpire, and definitely rightfully so. McCarty, a leadoff walk to start things up here in the fifth.
Yeah, good for McCarty to be able to get back on base. It had been a bit of a struggle. He was 0 for 4 in the last home game for the Mariners against the Bourne Braves, and so it actually had been quite some time since he had last been able to get on for the Mariners. So good that he's now on base here, as McCarty wasn't since opening day that he's been on base.
Favorable matchup for Kodo here, lefty on lefty against a hitter who's had his struggles in Corona. But Corona's defense is just another breed. I mean, he had an inning against YD where he had all 3 putouts in the half inning, 4-3. And Coach Engler had a lot of trust in him on defense. That's why he's captain of the infield there at shortstop. The 0-1 misses outside, and it's 1-1.
It's a nice pitch to the outside. That's an even better take from Corona there. It's a tough pitch to lay off him sometimes right on the outside when you think the umpire might call it, but he's able to get a favorable call there, and it's now 1-1.
The pitch, and it's 2-1. That one up high. Corona leads the count. Harding on deck, followed by the top of the order, although Nick Goodwin has had a tough start here. 2 strikeouts. He would be in the hole. Two-one. Big swing and a miss. That one well off the plate, but fooled Corona. A breaking ball at 88. Talk about that. An off-speed pitch at 88 in the Cape League is something to marvel about.
It's impressive.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Kodo trying to put on a show and get out of this inning. And now the 2-2. Foul tipped into the mitt. Corona goes down swinging. First time he's been retired here tonight. And there's 1 out for Cole Harding.
Number 10, Cole Harding.
It's good for Kodo to be able to come back like that after allowing a leadoff walk, and he's going to try to continue his excellence here after having a nice 4th inning.
Cole Harding will be his next opponent. Cole does have a single, one of the 2 hits for the Mariners in the ball game. And another thing is McCarty is going to get an opportunity to go here as the ball skips away. It's funny that that happened, because I was going to say difficult to steal on Kodo because he's a lefty and a pro-level guy, has a great pickoff move, and you're probably not going to get too many chances to run. But a ball that gets away from the catcher, a pass ball by Pancho Ruiz, and he is Gonna regret that one. Now a runner in scoring position for Cole Harding. The double play has been taken out of effect. And now a 1-0 pitch. On the inside corner for a strike. That one maybe ran a little too far in, but nonetheless, count is evened up.
And this is similar for McCarty in his last appearance on the base paths. Got on with a walk and then reached second on a pass ball. Ended up coming around to score, stole third, and then came home on an error. That was back on opening day.
1-1 is chopped over to first base, fielded by Hyannis. He'll flip onto the pitcher, Kodo, and there's 2 away. The runner does advance over to third, and Ryan McCarty, 90 feet away from tying this game
Back to the top of the
for
order,
Nick Goodwin.
the second baseman from Kansas State.
And while,
Number
yes,
6,
he's struggled
Nick
here today, even
Goodwin.
still, this is the guy who you want up if you're Harwich. He comes back up once again with another chance to help his team out and see if he cannot get the tying run, that extra 90 feet.
Good hitting versus good pitching here. Who will win the battle? 2 outs. Hyannis close to stranding another Mariner on. Harwich close to not scoring for what has seemed like an eternity. Still just 1 run in their last 3 games, including today. That pitch up and in. Goodwin saw his light flash before his eyes as he'll size out a relief, and it's 1-0.
Have not actually scored a run, the Mariners, since the bottom of the 4th inning against Bourne last Friday. It was Gino Groover who came home to score.
Yeah, it has been a battle, but a chance here as Goodwin fouls it off. It's 1-1. Kyle Teal, the batter, on deck, should he get that opportunity. Kodo just 1 out away from keeping this a 1-run ball game. No offense since the leadoff hitter in Tito Flores went yard to left field to lead off the ball game off Santucci. That is the difference. 1-0 Harbor Hawks. The pitch. Upstairs at the eyes. It's 2-1. And you definitely want to make Kodo come to you. Doesn't like to walk hitters, so if you get up in the count, you can expect a strike. And in a contact hitter with Nick Goodwin, you know he's going to be swinging. So if he sits on a pitch coming in, could be good things for the Mariners. 2-1. Fouls this one up and back out of play. And now Kodo is just 1 pitch away from escaping this jam. We're probably going to see his best stuff on this. Doesn't want to work it to 3-2. Definitely be aware of the low and away pitch here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A long look in. Goodwin steps into the box. Chance to knot up this ball game. And here we go. Fastball inside. They're going to say he went around, I believe, but nonetheless, Goodwin strikes out, I believe, swinging. And that will end the inning. We head to the 6th inning. Harwich strands another one. We'll be right back on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. 6th inning. Call to the bullpen. Santucci's night is over. Gage Zeal will climb to the mound, and for the rest of the way here in Game 1, Tim Foley will be taking over. Tim.
Thanks so much, Devin. Again, these 7-inning games here today for the doubleheader. We are in the later portions of this one. Gage Zeal coming in. He is the new arm on the mound for the Harwich Mariners. Jonathan Santucci's day is done. His line looks as this. 5 complete innings pitched. He gave up 4 hits. The 1 run was a solo shot to open up the game from Tito Flores. That has remained the difference to this point. He did not walk anybody, and he struck out 4. You take out that very first at-bat as the 1-0 misses outside. It's 2-0 now from Zeal. He had a pretty solid day, Santucci. Gave up the 4 hits, but he didn't walk anybody, and he struck out 4, and he was able to retire, effectively facing the minimum of just, what would that be, 14 or so batters across his last 4 2/3 innings pitched. Really solid after that first inning.
And 8 straight at that. He had retired in order. Gave off a leadoff single in the 3rd, and then 8 straight went down, including a double play hit by Tito Flores. And so, yeah, Santucci really found a rhythm here, but his night is over. You got to take into account pitch caps and, you know, wanting to have him sooner rather than later.
As the 3-1 comes in, that's going to miss high. That's going to walk Riku Nishida. So, the leadoff man is on for the Harbor Hawks. Nishida, second time on today for him, had a single, a bunt single at that. Laid it down perfectly down the third base line, his last at bat. And he ended up being cut down on a 5-4-3 double play that was put into motion by the man at the dish now in Tito Flores. Flores on the day, 1 for 2 with that solo shot back at the top of the first inning. And you had a feeling, or at least, you know, I felt as though once he did allow that solo home run, Santucci, he would be able to dial it in thereafter, as Nishida has a healthy lead over at first base. So,
yeah. Holy cow.
And there he goes, down to second base. Teal whips it down to second, and he got him. Nishida gunned down by Kyle Teal. Kyle Teal introduces him to Virginia baseball, as that'll put 1 away now here. Nishida twice cut down as he tries to reach second base.
Yeah, he is flying out there. I mean, that lead was, he was all the way over past the indent at first base. I mean, a healthy lead. I'm surprised they didn't even take a look at him over there. And a guy who stole 33 bases this past season. Credit to Kyle Teal. That is a tough guy to put out, but a perfect throw on the money, and they're able to get him here and get that very crucial first out.
That's the second runner who's been caught stealing here today by Kyle Teal. He's looked good behind home, as the count here is 1-1 to Tito Flores. The pitch, that'll be sliced back foul. Yeah, the count moves to 1-2. It was Dominic Pitelli who had been caught stealing, back to end the second inning, as it's a 1-2 count here to the batter in Flores. Zeal this past season at Miami, a big relief guy. The way he was able to come in and pitch for Miami. When you look at his numbers, a team-high 30 relief appearances, as that ball's going to be chopped off foul. The count remains at 1-2. Over the course of his 32 2/3 innings pitched, had an ERA of 4.0 and 52 strikeouts. Some good stats for him, and always impressive when you see that volume of appearances for anybody. Of course, a reliever, more so a starter. You're going to see that kind of numbers for appearances, as the 1-2 comes in, swung on and missed, but it's dropped by Teal. Throw down to first. Dug out by Vetrano. They got him. That's about as close as you can get in a drop third strike. Almost being able to make it down to first base was Tito Flores, but Teal able to scramble over after dropping the initial pitch and is able to place it over to Vetrano just in front of him, just close enough for Vetrano to pick it out 2 away.
And yeah, his weight was pulling away from him. I mean, it did not seem like there was any way Teal was going to be able to get this out. After it got away from him, he had lost it, didn't know where it was. Fires off his back foot, and Vetrano able to dig it out. Everything went right for the Mariners on that play, something that has not fared them well these past couple games.
I think it just goes to show you just how impressive that arm is there for Kyle Teal. We've already seen it on display once this inning, as the 0-1 just misses outside. The count evens out at 1-1. The fact that he's able to make a mistake like that, not be able to track the ball initially after he drops it on a third strike, but even then have his arm be able to make up for it on the throw down to first. A big swing and a miss from Justin Hyannis, who's already struck out twice today to Jonathan Santucci. He's now at risk of striking out for a third time here this afternoon. The top of the 6th inning, Mariners down by 1. Gage Zeal rocks and delivers. That'll be chopped back over toward the fence in front of the grandstand along the third base line. And we'll do it again.
Gage Zeal's got to dig deep here. You want that makeshift 1-2-3 inning, get your offense back up.
Zeal, the pitch. That's going to miss outside, and the count is 2-2.
And we've said it before, I'll say it again. Just 7 innings here, so Harwich has got just 6 outs to get something doing on the board. The cool thing about the doubleheaders is, should the game be tied at 1, there will be 2 innings extra if needed.
As that's going to be strike 3. Down goes the batter in Hyannis. We head now to the bottom of the 6th inning. Mariners in need of a run. We'll be back on the other side of the break. You're watching the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. We welcome you back inside White House Field. Tim Foley and Devin Dobick along with you. And just a correction on a note we made before the break here. Every game here in the doubleheader is going to be capped at 7 innings. There are no extras, even up to 9 innings. As the first pitch into Kyle Teal, who's looking to get on base for the first time today, is able to catch the outside part of the plate for a strike, 0-1. So a 14-inning day here between the 2 games, as that pitch is going to be chopped back foul, and it's now 0-2.
Yeah, and Teal, a tough night. He did just get a little under that last pitch and lifted it out, or excuse me, his last at-bat lifted it out to left field. Got credit for a sack, but he's still 0 for 1 on the ball game, and trying to get rid of those struggles right now.
The 0-2 pitch is going to miss high, and count moves to 1-2. And really, it feels like we can say that for just about anybody in this Harwich Mariners lineup right now. It's just been abysmal. Again, haven't scored since the 4th inning on Friday. It's a 1-2 count to Kyle Teal. Here's the pitch. That's going to hop out of the glove of Pancho Ruiz. And so the count now moves to 2-2.
Close take there. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And certainly helped by the fact that the ball hopped out of the glove of Ruiz.
Yeah.
I've heard as an umpire, not as easy to make those calls if it hops out of the catcher's glove. As the 2-2. And it's going to miss high, and the count now runs full here. A couple of nice takes from Kyle Teal. He's able to work back after being down to the count early, and it's a full count now with Brock Wilkin on deck.
Yeah, Teal could get on for some of the guys that have been putting the ball in play consistently, that would be huge, especially in the late innings here. Harwich will do anything they can to at least steal a point.
The pitch. That's going to miss outside, and the leadoff man is on here for the Mariners. That is the third time today that there's been a leadoff walk for Harwich, yet still nothing has come of it. And so the third time around here for the Mariners, they have to be hoping that that's the charm, especially with this part of the order that's due up. You have Kyle Teal, who just got on base for the first time in what feels like a long time, as he was 0 for 3 the other day against YD, and then was able to get on 0 for 3 against Bourne on Friday, but got on with a walk in the 8th inning, so it had been some time for him, and he's back on. You also have Brock Wilkin, Joe Vitrano, and very briefly here, we are going to have a pitching change coming up. The day is done for Cotto, as he came in and pitched 2+ innings. We'll be back on the other side of the break. We'll introduce the new arm, and we'll recap the numbers for Cotto on the other side. In the meantime, don't go too far. You're watching the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
For your Harwich Mariners, the third baseman from Wake Forest, number 25, Brock Wilkin.
Chris Cassidy introduces Brock Wilkin the only way he knows how. The Wake Forest Demon Deacon stands in now, the righty. In a spot here with nobody away, with Kyle Teal over on first base. Joe Vitrano stands on deck. And Harwich again finding themselves here in this heart of the order with an opportunity to do damage. Teal's on first with nobody out. And you have some big names up to bat here, but there is a new arm on the mound. It's Jay Driver. Driver out of Harvard, an ERA of 191. 6'3" sophomore righty. This one's going to be pushed out towards center field. That's going to hang up for Cole McConnell. He'll make the catch, and headed back to first is Kyle Teal, one away.
And yeah, it's just been that kind of day. Brock just misses that one. The crowd thought it had a chance to fall in a gap, which would have been a huge momentum swing, but it's just allowed out number one. Joe Vitrano now will come in. He's been snake bitten as of late. He's got a chance for redemption right now.
And so it is. Vetrano stands in. He's 0 for 2. He's also been snake bit by some good defense for Hyannis. A line drive to left field and then a line drive that was snagged on a beauty of a diving catch made by Mitchell Jebb over at third base. And so Vetrano just trying to find some open grass. As it's a 1-0 count to him here. Driver stands in and delivers. Vetrano pops him up. That's playable. Back is Jebb, as is Patelli. Patelli in foul territory. That ball drops, and that's going to be foul. Just foul. Tito Flores, Mitchell Jebb, and Dominic Patelli had each swarmed upon the area, but it ends up dropping between each of them, and it's just foul.
Yeah, Mariners absolutely catch a break. One of your best power hitters hitting cleanup today in Vetrano. I mean, he's been on it. Smoked one out to center in the first. Then, as you mentioned, the line out to third. Nice play by Jebb, and you definitely want this guy to keep swinging. A lefty-righty matchup, and he's got a chance to really give this team a lift with Jake Geloff, another guy who's really due on deck.
So it's a 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. That's going to miss inside. That'll brush Vetrano back. Has to take a bit of a lap after that one. It's 2-1. Some other doubleheaders were canceled yesterday, postponed to today. Wareham visiting Chatham, YD visiting Bourne. As Driver stands in, stares toward home, and comes home with the pitch. That'll miss inside, down low in the dirt as well. It's 3-1. Wareham currently trailing Chatham over at Veterans Field, 5-3. And then YD leads Bourne over in the bottom of the fifth inning, 2-0. So Harwich behind here and at risk of losing some ground in the division if YD is able to hold up, and as is Chatham. 3-1 pitch is going to be pulled out to right field. That's going back, and that's going to be caught by Philip Matulia. Second time a Mariner has thought they've gotten all of it just to have been caught out in the outfield, and so there's now 2 away after Kyle Teal, who got on with a leadoff walk, still stands there 2 batters later.
And yeah, you got a feel for Vetrano. He has just been robbed now the 3rd time today, and this is a long doubleheader. He just misses that one. Great job by Matulia to track that one down, but pretty much sums up the day for Harwich. Just nothing they can get going no matter where they swing it.
Staring in now is Driver once again. Here's the first pitch to Geloff. Pickoff down to first is not in time. Quick reflexes from Ruiz to be able to whip down to Hyannis over on first base. Sliding back safely is Teal. Count here is 0-1. Had a couple of games yesterday. 2 doubleheaders. Brewster and Katuitt faced off over at Lowell Park. That was a sweep for the Katuitt Kettleers, who remain red hot. As this ball gets away from the catcher, Ruiz, hurrying down to second base is going to be Kyle Teal, and he will take second with no problem. So now the Mariners with a man in scoring position, and Geloff trying to bring around his fellow Cavalier.
Hopefully Geloff can get something going. Just 1 for 7 on the season coming into today. And Driver, a guy who's pretty good, a 1.91 ERA at Hartford.
It's a 1-1 count here. Here's the pitch. Geloff fouls it off, and it's 1-2 now. Pitch coming in at about 96. Some serious velocity coming out from Driver. As the other doubleheader yesterday, Orleans able to sweep Falmouth. And so unfortunate if you're Harwich. Orleans jumps you in the standings, but the top of the standings remained stagnant in Brewster, and then they were swept, as mentioned. The 1-2 misses inside, and the count now 2-2. And again, these are 7-inning games, and so Harwich, you are really running out of time. It's almost as if the game starts in the 3rd inning in regards to just how much time you have left. So here we are, what is effectively the bottom of the 8th, down to your final out of the inning. The 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Down goes Geloff. That's the 3rd strikeout for him today. The Mariners have had no answer for Hyannis pitching here this afternoon. They'll go back out into the field one last time before trying to pull off a comeback win in the bottom of the ninth, or seventh rather. But to the top of the seventh we go first. It's 1-0 Hyannis. You're watching the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back inside White House Field. Tim Foley, Devin Dobick along with you as we continue through this game one of the doubleheader between the Hyannis Harborhawks and the Harwich Mariners. First pitch in from Zeal is going to be in for a called strike, and he's ahead very quickly here, 0-1. Batting now for the Hyannis Harborhawks, it's a pinch hitter, Nolan's Shanuel. Shanuel up to bat out of Florida Atlantic University, 4 for 25 so far on the season. He's struck out 5 times. It's tied for the team lead coming into today. It's a 1-1 count to him. Zeal rocks and delivers. That's going to miss inside, and the count now is 2-1. Shanuel this past season with Florida Atlantic, as he'll foul that one off. Makes it a 2-2 count. Batted .369. Had an on-base percentage right about .477. Had 16 home runs for Florida Atlantic. 2-2 pitch to him is going to catch the outside part of the plate, and down he goes. Watches that one just clip the plate, and so that is strikeout number 3 for Gage Zeal, and he has struck out 3 straight batters.
Yeah, settling very nicely here as Gage Zeal in his debut. We saw the leadoff walk he issued, but since then, really finding his spots and hitting them.
First pitch in is going to miss inside. I think Kyle Teal, as he tries to throw it back up to the mound, ends up flubbing the throw, intending he did not want it to reach Zeal. Interesting.
I think he hit the umpire.
May have.
He expressed his apologies to him, so I think he got a piece of him, a host on the way up. And yeah, that's why it looks so funky there.
It's a 1-0 count. Here's the pitch. That'll be swung on, chopped back off the mid of Teal, and the count now is 1-1.
Yeah, catcher's interference here on Teal. The bat hit the glove, and that's a free pass.
Did sound like that initially. Took them a moment to award that.
The catcher from San Diego State, number 17.
But they ultimately do. So, down to first base is going to be McConnell.
And if you really think about it outside the box, the throwback to the pitcher, he's obviously very far back as a catcher. He hits him a host, so he moves up to avoid that happening again, and his glove gets whacked. So kind of just luck of the draw there. Not something you see every day, but Hyannis will take it because they've been very quiet offensively as of late.
First pitch into the next batter, and Pancho Ruiz is going to miss for a ball. And I was going to say, Devin, while Harwich has been struggling here at the plate, so has Hyannis. We've just been talking about it a lot less because they're currently in the driver's seat. As it's a 1-0 count, here's the pitch. That's going to catch the outside part of the zone. It's now 1-1. 92 miles an hour that last pitch came in to find the zone. Zeal comes set, holds the glove about waist height, stares toward home, nods, looks in, and delivers. That'll skip in the dirt. Runner going down for second. Teal throw down to the bag. Beat him by a country mile. There's the tag. 2 away in the top of the 7th inning.
He has just been unbelievable. I think that's the second or maybe even
That's the
third
third
runner. Yeah, that he's thrown out. And I mean, to gather that, and then he even had time to set himself. He didn't even rush the throw, just put it right on target. And he avenges his own mistake that put the runner on by throwing him right out. What a sequence for Teal.
And so, the 1-1 count's going to be hit through the hole on the right side. The one hopper into right field. Throw down to first. They tried to get him on the rare outfield assist. Tommy Seidel was looking to gun down Pancho Ruiz at the bag, and the throw nearly got him. Heads up thinking there from Seidel. It was a hard hit ball. Got there quickly enough, but just enough speed from Ruiz, the catcher, to be able to make it down to first base. I like the thinking there, though, if you're Seidel.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny because as he was fielding it, I was like, they got a shot at him. It looked like Seidel just let the ball, if he charged it a little more, the play would have been even closer. Very lucky if you're Pancho Ruiz to be on there, as that one was way closer than it should have been after a line drive to right.
First pitch is in for a called strike to Mitchell Jebb, who's had a nice game defensively for the Harbor Hawks. At the plate, however, he's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. A 1 count to him here. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, and it's 0-2. Zeal, he's looking for what would be his 4th strikeout, and this just his 2nd inning of relief. Zeal stares in. Here's the 0-2 pitch. He got him. Rocks him like a hurricane. Down goes Jebb, and that's the inning. It's 1-0 Hyannis. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Mariners in need of a run when we come back, but Gage Zeal looking excellent as ever on the mound for the Mariners. We'll be back. You're watching the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
Number 34, Tommy Seidel.
Tommy Seidel leads us off in the bottom of the 7th inning. Do or die time here for the Mariners. A single run would guarantee them at least a point here today, since there would be no extra innings. 2 runs would walk it off. Here's the first pitch from Jay Driver back out there for his 2nd inning of work. This is first fresh inning. Came in last time in the 6th inning, where Cotto had walked the leadoff batter in Kyle Teal. Driver did a very nice job thereafter, retiring the first 3 he faced. This ball's popped up over to second base. Riku Nishida underneath it makes the catch, and there are now, there's only 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Just missed that one. Bat kind of failed him there, and
Number 11,
Seidel back
Ryan
to the dugout.
McCarty.
Ryan McCarty, what a story it would be if he could pick up a hit here. Mariners need it more than ever right now.
McCarty did get on with a walk in his last at-bat to lead off the 5th inning. Very first pitch he takes is going to miss for a ball. And so the count now is 1-0. Here's the pitch. That'll miss inside as well, and it's now 2-0.
Yeah, just give him a chance to swing.
As McCarty now digs in once again. Driver stares in and delivers. That's going to miss up high. Ryan McCarty shields out of the way of that one. He's able to just avoid contact. Helmet flung off of his head as he whipped out of the way. Could have been dangerous. McCarty, nice reflexes to avoid contact with that ball. It's a 3-0 count. Driver holds the glove about head height and delivers. That's in there for a called strike, right over the heart of the plate. And count now 3-1.
You can be selective here. You got 1 pitch that you can give if you're McCarty. Let's see what he does.
Here's the pitch. Fouled off. That'll ring off of the fence right behind home plate. And the count now 3-2. That last pitch coming in at about 95 miles an hour. And so, McCarty, count now full to him here. He was ahead 3-0. A nice battle back from Driver. Here's the pitch. That's going to miss high. Again, McCarty having to duck out of the way of it. And he's on to first base. 2nd walk today that Ryan McCarty has taken. And so this will bring up Danny Corona now with a chance to help do some damage here for the Mariners. Down to their final 2 outs, but with a man on first.
Yeah, let's see what they do here. I'm not sure how aggressive they're going to be on the base pass. You got a guy who's throwing nothing but gas on the mound, so it's going to get to the catcher pretty quick. And we know that Ruiz has a good arm. He's already thrown out Seidel.
He'll push this one the other way. That'll take a few hops over into the Mariners bullpen, and it's 0-1.
Excuse me, that Seidel was picked off, but nonetheless, we've seen him take a few snap throws over at first base. Almost got Kyle Teal once, so not sure how the Mariners will play this one with a struggling batting order.
You have to hope that somebody's just going to be able to break through right now, because not a lot has been working. The 0-1 pitch. That's going to skip inside, gets away from the catcher. Running down to second now is McCarty, and he will come in standing. Does not slide in. Throw close, but McCarty did not slide, did not need to. Vitelli unable to apply the tag as the throw is not in time, and so down to second base is Ryan McCarty, who is ever present on the base paths this season. When he's gotten on, he's been a pest to opposing teams so far this season. That his 2nd stolen base. As 1-1 pitch is going to be fouled back by Corona, and the count now is 1-2.
And yeah, a gift there for the Mariners, just circling back to that stolen base by McCarty. That ball, if that doesn't get away, there's no way McCarty's going anywhere in this at-bat the way they've been playing it. They will absolutely take it. Great read by the D3 kid.
Here's the 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed by Corona. Down he goes. That's his 2nd strikeout of the day. 2nd strikeout for Jay Driver. And now the Hyannis Harbor Hawks 1 out away from taking game 1 of this doubleheader. And sending the Mariners to below 500 for what would be the first time this season. And we take a look around the league. As you remember, this is a day where a couple of other series are being made up. Chatham still leading Wareham, and YD still leading Bourne. So it would be really detrimental to the Mariners trying to maintain positioning in the East Division should they fall to Hyannis here today in Game 1. It's an 0-1 count here to the batter in Harding. Harding on the day, 1 for 2, singled back in the 3rd inning, and then grounded out to first base back in the 5th inning.
Mariners have been held to just 2 hits in the ball game. It's really, they are just in a team slump. Nothing going right, and luck also not on their side. We've seen a lot of great defense against them as well.
As Driver steers back towards second and delivers. This ball going to be hit over past the outstretched glove of Nishida. Ryan McCarty's headed around third. Here's the play at the plate. Not in time. Ryan McCarty out of Penn State Abington barrels his way home as Cole Harding's able to line one over the second baseman's head. A run for the Mariners means a point for Harwich at least after today's game. They're going to look for more here as they're back to the top of the order with Nick Goodwin, who's 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts, absolutely due, coming up to bat.
And talk about a broadcaster's jinx there, as Nishida, not a huge figure. That one just goes off the edge of his glove. If he's a little taller, he's probably making that play. Just 5'6", great base running from McCarty, and Cole Harding, a guy who struggled with the bat all season long, out of the 9 spot, picks up his 2nd hit of the day.
Here's the first pitch to Goodwin, and that is going back. That's a hard hit ball. Back it goes toward the fence. Gone! The Harwich Mariners walk it off. Trailing 1-0 in the bottom of the 7th. Here they come. A 3-1 victory in Game 1 for the Harwich Mariners. His 2nd of the season. It's a game winner. Nick Goodwin. There's a good win for Harwich.
Wow. Nick Goodwin, how do you do? 3 strikeouts, all swinging on the ball game, and he sees this pitch and takes it a bomb. The first Harwich home run at White House Field. What a blast. Another no-doubter. And what a game. A team win. Gutsy. They needed that. That's huge for the momentum, Tim. What a win.
All is forgiven hitting-wise when you're able to come out in the bottom of the 7th inning of a 7-inning game in a tight spot, down just 1 run, and you're able to put together an inning like that. Tommy Seidel, he popped out to open up the inning. Didn't look great right out of the gate as Harwich had an out against him, but then Ryan McCarty able to draw the walk, steals second base, and then he's driven around by Cole Harding, who's brought all the way around by Nick Goodwin, who brings both Harding and himself in. Wow, what a game. We'll take a moment, we'll step aside, we'll recap it a bit more in just a minute, as well as the final pitching lines. We'll talk a bit more on the Harwich Mariners post-game show in just a minute. In the meantime, don't go too far. You're watching the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back inside White House Field here from Harwich, Massachusetts. A 3-1 walk-off win for the Harwich Mariners after a 2-run shot from Nick Goodwin, his 2nd home run of the season. He's the hero here in Game 1 for the Mariners. In Devon, a game that, quite frankly, from a hitting perspective, did not look good at all up until those final 2 at-bats of the game.
No, they had 2 hits all the way up until then, and you just really, there's a lot of people that need credit in this game. Santucci battling through that leadoff home run to start the game, Gage Zeal comes in, walks his first batter in his CCBL debut, then slams the door shut. No more offense allowed. Kyle Teal with 3 putouts behind the plate. He was sensational with the exception of the catcher's interference, and he found his way on base again. And then how about Ryan McCarty, a guy who's had a cloud over his head all game. He comes in, gets on base, a dirt ball read, and then that is helped out by a Cole Harding single, a guy who has struggled all season long. He cashes in, and then Nick Goodwin, a guy, steps up, and the rest is history here in Game 1, Tim.
So the loss goes to Jay Driver, who looked good in his first inning, pitched back in the 6th inning, retired the first 3 he faced on a couple of flyouts and then a strikeout, but then here in the 7th inning was not able to keep it together. Did retire the first batter, but a walk to McCarty and then a strikeout to Corona, but then back-to-back hits, a single from Harding and then a big one from Nick Goodwin to put Harwich over the top. The win goes to Gage Zeal, who came in and was able to pitch 2 complete innings to close out this one after Santucci pitched an excellent 5 out of the gate. Zeal struck out 4 batters. As you mentioned it, Devin, he really slammed the door. And wow, what a win here today for Harwich. We talked about it as the Mariners were facing off against that YD team, who were in a bit of a slump before that 11-0 walloping that they then handed the Mariners back last Saturday. YD then came out and had a much better, much more complete game after they had a walk-off win the night before against the Orleans Firebirds. You have to wonder if perhaps the way the Mariners were able to come out here today, late in the game, not throughout the majority of this first game, but the way they close it out, you have to hope at least that's going to help to jumpstart this offense the rest of at least today and across the next few games here.
Yeah, things were looking very bleak. They had lost 2 in a row. They'd only had, I believe, 8 or 9 hits in the last 2 games. They have 2 going into the last inning here tonight. They double that total and pick up a much-needed win. Everything sort of came together here at the last minute possible, but nonetheless, a huge team win. Harwich really needed that one, and they got a chance to sweep here in Game 2.
And so we will leave you with that. The Harwich Mariners are able to pick up the win over the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. They improve to 4-3 on the season. In the standings, they jump over Orleans now and are up to 8 points, and they are tied atop the table at 8 points, tied for first in the East Division. Going to look for more on the other side of the break as we will step aside. First pitch for the next game slated for about 6:30, we'll say at this point in time, about a half an hour layover. In the meantime, I'm Tim Foley for Devin Dobick saying thanks so much for watching coverage of Game 1. Once again, the final score for the final time, the Harwich Mariners 3 and the Hyannis Harbor Hawks 1. We'll be back for Game 2 at about 6:30. You've been watching the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network.